Welcome to Cinepro, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. Our movie begins in a large forest in Colombia, with two hunters holding their rifles, waiting for any prey to approach them. We learn that part of this forest is safe, but another part is dangerous due to the presence of venomous snakes, which is why entry into that area is forbidden. We also find out that these two young men were thieves who used to rob tourists visiting the forest. However, recently they started hunting snakes because their skins are extremely valuable and much more profitable for them. One of them objects to this, believing that stealing is better than hunting, as the snakes in the area are very dangerous and terrifyingly large. But the other responds, saying they need to take risks if they want to earn more. While they are talking, they sense movement around them and conclude that there is a snake nearby. Each of them starts searching in different directions until one of them falls to the ground and is shocked to find a decomposed corpse. Time passes, and we see a couple named Josh and Sophia arriving in the city. We learn that they are doctors attending a medical conference. They have left their children at home and plan to stay for a short period before returning. It becomes apparent that they are on the verge of separating and plan to finalize their divorce immediately upon returning. However, the reasons are not disclosed. Josh feels bored with their silence during the journey, so he takes the opportunity to ask Sophia how she feels upon arriving in her birth city. However, she avoids talking to him and keeps her responses brief. Josh is seen carrying a city guidebook, a habit of his, as he likes to plan city tours in advance. He notices that the city is surrounded by forests and expresses excitement about visiting one of them. Sophia, however, tells him they won't have time for outings because the conference preparations will consume all their time. This is also their first time leaving their children behind, which makes Sophia anxious. It becomes clear that she and Josh argue over the smallest things. They arrive at the hotel, where they are welcomed by their friend Marcus, who is also attending the conference. Unaware of their decision to separate, Marcus treats them normally and invites them to dinner at the hotel that evening. After he leaves, the couple discovers that Marcus booked them a single room, not knowing about their issues. Sophia asks the receptionist for a separate room, but the receptionist apologizes, explaining that all rooms are fully booked due to the conference. As a result, they are forced to share the same room but decide to sleep in separate areas. Sophia is visibly upset about the situation and mentions that she will spend the day outside, only returning to the room to sleep. She also plans to leave dinner early to give Josh the chance to inform Marcus about their separation. At dinner, Josh and Marcus reminisce and laugh about old memories. Marcus mentions that Colombia's highest waterfall is nearby and suggests they visit it through one of the city's forests. The next day, they decide to go, and although Sophia is reluctant to go out with Josh, she decides to join them, thinking it might be a good opportunity to revisit her memories of the city. Later, Sophia excuses herself, claiming she wants to sleep, and Marcus notices her change in behavior. He asks Josh about it, and Josh reveals their decision to separate. Marcus is shocked, as he considered them one of the most successful couples. He asks Josh for the reason, and Josh explains that their personalities have changed, and they are no longer compatible. The next morning, Sophia wakes up early and starts working. Later, she gets ready to go to the waterfall and is surprised to find that Josh hasn't dressed yet. Josh explains that Marcus canceled due to being busy with other commitments, and he tells Sophia to go alone since she wants to make the most of her time in the city. Concerned for her safety, Josh decides to accompany her despite her protests. Josh asks the hotel staff for the best route to the waterfall, and they point him to a path, but it turns out to be very long. Josh notices a shorter route but is warned by the staff that it is dangerous due to venomous snakes. Sophia is surprised to hear about the snakes, as she was unaware of their presence in the city. The staff explains that the snakes are a recent issue caused by climate changes. Josh insists on taking the shorter route, claiming he is familiar with wilderness survival, but Sophia objects. The staff also advises them to stick to the safe route. As they leave, the staff signals to a man sitting nearby, who turns out to be the thief that used to rob tourists and hunt snakes for their skins. It becomes clear that the staff collaborates with him, tipping him off whenever tourists head to the forest, so he can rob them. The couple drives to the forest leading to the waterfall, parks their car, and begins their hike. As they ascend to a high altitude, Josh becomes tired and frequently stops to rest, while Sophia continues ahead. Josh eventually catches up to her sitting on a rock and thanks her for waiting. However, Sophia embarrasses him by saying she only stopped due to muscle cramps, not for him. While they talk, Josh notices the unstable weather and predicts an approaching storm. He decides they should head back, but when they return to their car, they find the thief trying to break into it. Sophia is frightened and suggests they let him take the car to avoid harm, but Josh refuses, fearing they will have no way to return. Josh tells Sophia to hide, gives her the bag he's carrying, and confronts the thief. The thief, armed with a gun, demands money from Josh. Josh insists he has no money, but the thief, suspecting Sophia has it, asks where she is and threatens Josh with the gun. Sophia, witnessing the scene, becomes worried about Josh and decides to confront the thief, handing him the bag. While the thief searches the bag for money, Josh seizes the opportunity to hit him on the head with a tree branch. The couple then runs into the forest, but the thief, still alive, begins chasing them and fires shots at them. As it starts raining, the couple comes across a sign warning them about the dangerous part of the forest, the same area the staff had warned them about. Despite the risk, they decide to enter, hoping the thief will be too scared to follow them. Sophia fights with her husband, blaming him for their situation, pointing out that it was his insistence on confronting the thief that led to this. Afterward, Sophia runs toward the dangerous part of the forest, while Joshua tries to delay the thief as much as he can before chasing after her. Sophia continues her way into the forest until she stumbles, loses consciousness, and later wakes up to find herself alone. She begins searching for Joshua but falls into a mud pit that resembles quicksand. The pit starts pulling her in, and she struggles to resist until Joshua arrives and calms her down, handing her a tree branch to hold onto so he can pull her out. However, the branch breaks, and the plan fails. Sophia tries again to free herself, but the quicksand pulls her deeper. Without hesitation, Joshua jumps into the pit to save her, managing to lift her head above the surface. Despite his efforts, both end up trapped in the pit with no way out. Despite the danger, Sophia is touched by Joshua's sacrifice and realizes he still loves her. Meanwhile, Marcus heads to their cabin to check on them and arrange another outing. When no one answers, he finds a voice message from Joshua saying they went to the waterfall. As the rain stops, the couple starts brainstorming ways to escape. Joshua points out that the weight of the mud is greater than theirs, so as long as they stay still, they won't sink further. After much discussion, they conclude that their only hope is for someone to come rescue them. They notice a large egg nearby and realize they are in a dangerous place. Suspecting the creature that laid the egg will come looking for it. Suddenly, Sophia feels something beneath her. With Joshua's help, they pull it out and discover it is a human corpse. Being doctors, they deduce from the facial features that the person died of starvation. They realize this was one of the two thieves from the opening scene, and Sophia becomes terrified they might meet the same fate. Joshua, however, starts thinking practically. He takes the bag that was with the young man and finds a flashlight, a knife, and other items inside. They also find a rifle near the body with 2 bullets. Joshua suggests cutting the bag into small pieces to make a long rope. He spots a nearby rock and plans to tie one end of the rope to it and use the other end to pull themselves out. Meanwhile, Marcus is still at the hotel and spots the young thief, noticing Joshua's bag with him and bloodstains on his clothes. Marcus deduces that the thief tried to rob Joshua and Sophia and confronts him, demanding to know their location. The thief refuses to talk until security intervenes, separating them and calling the police. Back in the pit, the couple manages to make a long rope from the bag, but it falls short of the desired length. Joshua suggests cutting his jacket as well, but Sophia worries about the cold. As they think of a solution, they notice a plane overhead, likely one of the tourist planes showcasing the area. They try to signal it, but the tall trees block their visibility. Sophia wants to set the rope on fire using the lighter they found in the bag, but Joshua stops her, saying if they fail, they will have no other way out. This leads to another argument until the plane moves away. A little later, Sophia feels thirsty and asks Joshua if they have anything to drink. He tells her he left everything in the bag. Seeing Sophia begin to lose hope, Joshua tries to stay optimistic, saying that night hasn't fallen yet, so someone might still find them and bring them back to the hotel. Suddenly, Sophia feels something bite her and discovers ants have gathered around her. Unable to reach them, Joshua gives her some alcohol from a bottle they found to pour on the ants. Afterwards, Sophia tries to drink from the bottle, but Joshua stops her, saying they need to conserve it. He notices Sophia is losing strength and tries to keep her spirits up. While talking, they remember the rifle they have and realize they could have used it to signal the plane. They both feel frustrated for missing such an obvious solution. Suddenly, Sophia notices a large snake behind Joshua. Although she has the rifle in her hands, she's too scared to shoot, having never used one before. Joshua, unable to turn around, orders Sophia to shoot quickly. As she aims, the snake bites Joshua on his arm. Sophia shoots, injuring the snake, which then escapes. Sophia tries to tie up Joshua's wound to slow the venom's effect. Meanwhile, Marcus is at the police station with the thief in custody. The thief offers to reveal the couple's location in exchange for money, but Marcus realizes he doesn't have any cash on him. He offers his watch instead, and the thief tells him they are in the dangerous part of the forest, warning about quicksand and snakes. Marcus becomes increasingly worried about his friends and pleads with the security guard to let him go rescue them, but no one listens. Back in the pit, Joshua begins to lose hope and shows signs of a blood clot in his neck. Sophia, who had left her medical career after becoming a mother, decides to use her knowledge to save him. She heats the knife with the lighter and prepares to cauterize the wound, despite her fear and lack of recent practice. Determined to save Joshua, she successfully removes the clot and cauterizes the wound. Joshua loses consciousness from the pain, and Sophia faints from exhaustion. Both wake up later, with Joshua thanking Sophia for saving his life. Sophia admits she was excited about the lecture she was supposed to give at the conference, as it would have restored her confidence as a doctor. She reveals she doesn't regret leaving the profession, despite being highly skilled, because she needed to regain her confidence before returning. Joshua reassures her that she made the right decision in prioritizing their children and praises her as both a great mother and an excellent doctor. Sophia remains hopeful they will escape and return to their children. After much thought, she decides to kill the snake and use it to extend their rope to reach the rock. She notices the snake is still nearby. She starts throwing anything nearby at him to provoke and grab his attention. She has the rifle ready to kill him as soon as he approaches her, but the surprise is that the snake comes from behind her. Sophia tries to shoot it with the rifle, but the bullet misses, leaving the rifle empty. The snake manages to wrap its body around her and begins to strangle her. At that moment, Josh is unconscious due to exhaustion, but wakes up at the last second, grabs a knife, and kills the snake. This allows him to save Sophia's life. Sophia ties a rope around the snake's body, and after many attempts, manages to secure the rope to a nearby rock. She grabs the rope and finally climbs out of the pit. However, the rope breaks, and she tries to wake up Josh to grab her hand and climb out. But Josh has lost control of his body, so he tells her to go look for someone to help them. Sophia starts running through the forest, but due to exhaustion, night falls, and she is still in the forest. She keeps losing consciousness and then waking up again. This continues until she reaches the road and finds an ambulance arriving with Marcus. 2 paramedics take her to the ambulance, while Marcus and the other rescuers go searching for Josh. Sophia is overjoyed when she sees them bringing him out alive, and so, the 2 of them manage to escape the forest despite all the dangers they faced. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video. Goodbye.